Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. You could be anywhere in the world doing your thing, but you're here. Please let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know where you're joining us from. Thank you, Francisca Gitor Menchi. Thank you. And as many of you that are there. To those on different pages, thank you, thank you. Okay, we'll start in a second or two. Just trying to sort something out. Let me make this. Only the guys. Let's start. Please let us know where you're joining from. Let us know where you're joining from. And if you're watching this later, let us know where you're watching us from. Thank you very much. Welcome to another Onyekwelu Speaks Sunday Live. 1 minute, sorry, let's get the right. 1 minute, please. There's all. Okay. Welcome to another Sunday Onyekwelu Speaks Sunday Live. I do this every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. 7 p.m. UK time. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. Okay, 7 p.m. UK time. Okay. Francisca G. joining from Enugu. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. 1 minute, please. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vembe Joseph from Kaduna, Nigeria. You're welcome. Thank you for always joining. You could be anywhere. You could be busy doing one thing or two. Thank you. So today, like as I saw advertised, discussing patterns and circles. Patterns and circles. Patterns and circles. Patterns and circles. And just to say a big thank you to all our TikTok family for the 2,000 plus. For the 2,000 plus on TikTok. Close to 1,000 on YouTube. Over 7,000 on Facebook, and over 9,000 on Instagram. Just to say a big thank you for your support, your kind, everything. Just a big thank you. We do this every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. So please, you're all welcome again and again and again. Please, before we dive in, please share this live stream so others can be a part of it. If you're on Instagram, sorry, if you're on TikTok, you long press on the screen and you can share it. You see a repost button. On Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on what did I miss out? On Instagram, just follow the prompts you see there. You should be able to send. I think last Sunday we did about 12,000 likes. I can't remember again. Let's try to. If you like what you're saying, so if you tap on the screen, you see you to keep showing love emojis coming up, and That way, the algorithm will recommend this channel to other people that it could be a blessing to. And the same thing on Facebook, the same thing on Instagram, the same thing on LinkedIn. Please tap on the screen or whatever it is that you appreciate. So I have a free ebook. If you look on my bio, you find my free ebook. Look on my bio, you find my free ebook. Thank you very much. If you look on my bio, you find my free ebook. Thank you for the likes. So it's called Roadmap to Financial Freedom, and also you can download my paid ebook. It's called Idea to Short-Led Business. Idea to Short-Led Business. So if you click on the link, it will take you out there. Thank you, Rebecca. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Also on that link, you can also find a 10 minutes free consultation or personal guide call or business call. Please do well to send us book a slot there or send a message. Thank you very much for the likes. Join our like minds community and stay accountable. So we have a community on the flyer, whatever. You see a QR code, or if you click on the, you should see a QR code. I'll take you to my channel, my WhatsApp channel. From there, you can get access to the group. So yes, this live stream is sponsored by the Hey You Love, G610 Homes, and Love Family Podcast. You want to check them out and see what they do. Okay, thank you very much. So the aim of what we do, why I do this every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time, what is the purpose of why we're doing this, why I'm doing this? The whole idea is to stir up a dissatisfaction in your spirit, man. Is that when one begins to become comfortable with the norm, or comfortable with things not going right, comfortable with average, comfortable with what ought not to be. That's the whole idea of this, is to stir up that dissatisfaction, that the person will want more, that there will be an aspiration for more. So it's to awaken the sleeping giant, because there's greatness in you, there's potentials in you and in me and you. It's to awaken those things in you and to stir it up. So if after an hour or consistently of watch this program month in, month out, and nothing is said, then you need to check yourself. But I'm so sure that one way or the other, you learn a thing or two. The whole reason is that in Ecclesiastes 10 verse 7, it says, I've seen servants on horses and princes walk on ground like servants. So where people ought not to be, that's where they are. And where they ought to be, that's where they are not. So the whole idea is that programs like this, thank you for the likes, programs like this will stir up a dissatisfaction in you, and in whatever situation you are, whatever levels you are, whatever it is in your life, you'll begin to take action towards it. So I just want to say I'm not a guru. I'm not someone that has arrived. No. I only teach what Christ, by the grace of God, has done in my life. Whatever it is that I'm still working on, I won't discuss it. Or it's not yet done, I won't discuss it. I'm only talking to, I see this as an opportunity to talk to my 5-year-old self. So what are the things that I wish I knew 5 years before now? What are the things I knew 10 years ago? What are the things I knew 15 years ago? I'm sharing today things I wish I knew. We live in a community at a time and an age where people don't share information. People don't say what they do. People don't tell you what's working. People don't tell you how it's working for them. Everybody just zip up their mouth. No one wants to talk. So I choose to do different. And I hope that you learn a thing or two from the things I'm sharing. Okay. So as we go straight into it, introduction. Most people are stuck in a loop they didn't start, calling it life. So tonight we're going to break those circles. So welcome to this stream. The Bible makes us understand in Romans 12 verse 2, it says, do not be conformed to the patterns of this world. There's a pattern, and I hope that as I discussed it, you begin to see some patterns. Thank you, Pierre, for joining. Thank you, Sambas, Kinyati, Skincare, King of Pattern. Thank you for joining, and as many of you that joined on Instagram and thank you for joining. So think about it. The person who says, in my family, we don't do business, or we just work and retire, that's a loop. Or the person who says, oh, my father is a hot-tempered person, so that's why I'm hot-tempered too. No, that is a pattern. You didn't start it, but you are currently sponsoring it. So my prayer is that as you're listening to what I'm saying, your mind is being renewed, and you change the frequency of your lineage. Yes, it has happened in the past, but you have the power to change it. That's the most important thing. So the second thing I want us to mention on how go is that every generation is judged by what it multiplies. If you look at what was sent to you, you see that every generation is judged by what it multiplies. Remember, if you listen to this life, you always hear this story, the parable of talent. Time is testing you. Are you multiplying the excuses you were given or the preparations you were commanded to keep? So time is testing me, time is testing you. So what are we doing with that time? Are we multiplying excuses we're given or the preparations you were commanded to keep? So it's a food for thought for each and every one of us. So let's look at 24 hours. Your parents have sown seeds in you. What have you made of it? Have you multiplied it or you have been stagnant? A lot of parents have done all manner of stuff. Educated their children, sacrificed their life for their children, done all manner of things. Some of them might not have done it all, but some of them, they are dissatisfaction. I remember, I think it was, what's his name? Tyler Perry, saying that his father's, I forgot how he put it, the way his father spoke to him served as, he used it as a fuel to propel him to where he is today. So whether your parents did well or did not do well, whatever it is that in one form or the other, you can use whatever thing. If they did well, you ought to multiply it. If they didn't do well, it will serve as motivation for you to change the narrative. So, but look at the parable of talent. The master didn't want the money back. He wanted the increase. Bear that in mind. He wanted what? He wanted the increase. It was not after the money. He was more interested in the increase. And he was more angry with the guy that did nothing. So if you are given a seed, no matter how much money it is, £1,000, £10,000, 10 million naira, 50 million naira, all you have is a story of how the economy is bad and you're not doing well. As they gave you that money, and the only story you're telling is how the economy is not doing well, how things are not working well, how it's not going well. No, you are multiplying excuses. If you used it to learn a skill or you put it to good use and you 10x it, you are multiplying preparation. So I want us to get that in mind, So another thing I want us to bear in mind is that you are born into a story, but you are the author of your reputation. Yes, you can't determine the family you're born into. Yes, they gave you a name. Maybe you're not part of it, but you can. But your reputation is in your control. What you make out of what you become is your control. So stop repeating the stories of your past and start rewriting the legacies of your future. So you might be born into that family with a bad name or a poor story. That's the first chapter, but you are holding the pen for the rest of the book. So think about it. When people hear your name in the market, or they hear your name on the office, or they hear your name somewhere, do they open their doors or lock their safes? It's important to bear that in mind. So you're 100% responsible for your reputation. You're 100% responsible. So wherever you are, across the world, Asia, Africa, in America, you might have a name that you're not pleased with, or your family background that you're not happy with, or your reputation, or what becomes of you, your outcome, it's entirely your responsibility. So opportunity is looking for a home. Will you find preparation or a closed door when it comes to you? So imagine all that. If you have not registered your business today, you've not updated your skills, or tidied up your character, then you now say, oh, I'm not lucky, I'm not unprepared. No, opportunity is like a guest. It won't stay in your house if it's not ready. No. So tonight, my prayer is that doors are going to be opening as we are building capacity for opportunities to walk in. That the things you're going to learn, the things you're going to hear today, to spark up something in you so that you are prepared for the opportunities that will come your way. So we're shifting from patterns to power. So if you like what you've heard so far, please tap on the screen and let the like buttons come out so more people can learn from it. All right. So I'm going to go straight into it. So I always like to define terms, so to avoid doubt and assume that everyone understands what I'm talking about. So according to Oxford and Webster's dictionary, the word pattern is a reliable sample of traits. A reliable, mark the word, reliable sample of traits, acts, tendencies, or observable characters of a group, a person, or an institution. Remember, it's a reliable sample of traits. Another meaning of pattern is what? A repeated decorative design a regular and intangible form of sequence, discernible in the certain acts or situation. So this one I think would help what to discuss is a model or design from which something is made. Remember what? A model or design. So this is the model. For instance, let's say this is the model, and it's from this model that the rest is manufactured. So a pattern. For a pattern, what we're discussing says a model or design from which something is made, a guide, a diagram to be followed in making things. So let's use an example. So the most powerful thing is that a pattern is a template. If the template is flawed, everything produced from it will be flawed. To change the product, that which is your life, you must change the pattern, which is the blueprint. So let's bear that in mind. I like the words of Miles Monroe. He says that past success is the greatest enemy of future success. Past success, the way my parents did it, the way my father did it, the way my grandfathers did it, is the greatest enemy of future success. I hope that we're learning anything too. So that you are stuck in something, or because you work this day, forgetting that new levels require new versions. We need to step up where necessary. So let us define the word circles. According to the same dictionary, Oxford or Webster's, it defines that a process in which the end of a series of events or a line of reasoning returns to the beginning, making no progress towards a goal. Mark that word. Making no progress towards a goal. A process, I think it is a process in which the end of a series of events or a line of reasoning returns back to the beginning, making no progress towards what? A goal. That's what circles means. So this is a secular living. It is the process of what? For instance, work, get paid, pay your debt, broke, work, get paid, pay your debt, broke, work, get paid. That's it. Circle. This is just one example. There's so many things that we can put this into, that we can use as an example. So thanks for the likes, guys. Keep it coming. It returns to the beginning every single month or every single time. There's no multiplication, and here only repetition. So that's what circles mean in a sense. So as we merge circles, as we merge patterns and circles, so it's important that what? We understand that a pattern is a blueprint used to build something new. Remember we talked about, like, let's say for this is it, we're using this to make more. But a circle is a line where the end meets. That's just a recap of it. If you're living in a circle, your effort is high, but your progress is what? Zero. You'll be working so hard, you're going round, but your effort zero. You're running a 10-kilometer race or journey or whatever a day on a merry-go-round. But when you break the circle, you create a God pattern. You stop making in loops and start moving in levels. So I want to ask you today, is your life a pattern, which is a blueprint, or a loophole, a loop, which is a circle? It's time for you to decide. As you're talking, as I'm saying these things, you're analyzing yourself, you're looking at your life. There are certain aspects of your life that you see these patterns or you see these circles that need to be challenged. You understand? So Shokoda always say, whatever you don't want to, whatever you don't want to tolerate, don't nurse it. You know. So let's move on. I hope we're learning a thing or two. Your life is not random. As we discuss examples of patterns, so a lot of people might be wondering, what are you talking about, Onyekwelu? So I'm going to give you some examples. Your life is not random. It is shaped by two powerful forces. Patterns, what you repeatedly do. Circles, who you repeatedly do life with. You know. So if you don't change any of this, you see this, some of these things I'm talking about. So I'm not trying to shame anybody, but I'm trying to draw attention. I'm trying to draw attention to some patterns that might be happening in our life, or some circles that we are going around it, but maybe you don't know. Because a lot of people don't in Igbo adage, they say a dog that is getting lost, it will keep wandering away until it starts hearing the call of the owner. Before you then realize, oh, how far away that call from the owner is would make him know that I'm actually getting lost. So it's important that what we're going to share today, I hope that it draws in it serves as a reminder to us about these patterns. They might be in our life, they might not be. So a pattern is simply repeated, as we talked about that. One example is what? Survival pattern. Survival pattern. Come to the UK, get a job, work overtime, send money home, no savings. Repeat that for 10 years. A lot of people have done that. Some people I see, I don't want you to look like a shameful something, no. But it's like that for a lot of people. You know, busy but not building. Survival is a season, not a destiny. So there's no investment, there's nothing to show for. They just send him work, just like a repeat circle. I remember a guy, once worked with him when I worked in Google as a kitchen porter. I remember, I won't forget it. He work, see, don't get me wrong, guys, people work very hard. And if you need to put in the grind, put in the grind. You know, but this man, I'm sure he was, then maybe I'll be like in my late 30s or something like that. Or early 30s. This gentleman should have been maybe like late 50s. And he worked 2 jobs. He work as a kitchen porter during the day. Then he worked night, some other job. I think another kitchen porter in a hotel. He slept in the bus. He sleeps in the bus. That's the only time he gets. He sleeps. Once he gets into the bus, he will sleep. He takes the bus because it's longer. So he gets to his workplace on time. But he'll sleep on the bus and he'll be woken up by the driver to say you have arrived at the last bus stop. You know, I think they kind of know him. That's the grind my gentleman puts in. His family is back up in Nigeria. I'm sure a lot of you can relate with what I'm saying across the world. So come to the UK, get a job or any job, work overtime, send money home, no savings, repeated for 10 years. Some people, give them the credit, they might start putting things back home, do one thing or the other. But remember that being busy doesn't mean that you're building. Survival is a season, not a destiny. Another pattern is what? Some people always put what they can do tomorrow. You know, oh, next year I'll start my business. Next year I'll go back to school. Next year I'll save. 5 years later, still nothing to show for. I know people that have come to me with all due respect to you, come ask me, oh, Onyekwelu, how can I go about this business and all that stuff? And 2 years gone, 3 years gone, nothing. No action, no alternative source of income, no income generating assets. I'm sure if you missed last week's live, please go to my YouTube channel and search on it, click on my channels, you'll see it. Last week I had my mentor by name Mark Doughton, and he discussed how to replace your income. I'm not going to dwell on that. He did a good job on that. He discussed how to replace your income. You want to go to it. Everything you keep putting it forward for next year. Procrastination is a pattern disguised as planning. So let us bear that in mind. Another pattern is relationship pattern. You choose a partner based on emotion, not alignment. You ignore all the red flags. You can see that the guy is doing things that you are not comfortable with. You know, you ignore them, and it ends in heartbreak. You know, you repeat with a different face. You know, you keep repeating, and that keeps happening. You can say, oh no, this person, I'm gonna get another person. The same thing. Unhealed trauma creates repeated patterns. Unhealed trauma creates. That's why they always say people that divorce are likely going to produce, are likely going to end up divorcing again. So if that thing that made a divorce in the first place is not checked, it's likely going to be a repeated pattern of that thing. So another pattern is what? Poverty mindset pattern. Poverty mindset pattern. Fear of investing. So people have the money. We discussed this last week, my mentor. They have the money, but the fear of investing, fear of risk, fear of starting small. They want to hammer from day one. No. Always waiting for big money. Always they want the money to be chunk big. That's the greed that comes with people that do fraud or Yahoo or 419. Greed, you know, of making it big. You cannot build wealth with survivor mentality. No, let's bear that in mind. Next pattern is what? Complaint pattern. They complain about, they blame the government, they blame racism, they blame the economy, they blame no action. You know, they blame everything. They blame the economy, they blame no action plan. They don't have any action plan. You get that a lot. I'm not saying you don't get that in UK, you get that a lot in America. Especially without due respect amongst African Americans, you know. You see them complain things like, oh, the system, whatever. Don't get me wrong. I think I watched a podcast about it, and some immigrants were saying that I think they're talking about it. I've forgotten what that podcast is called, but it's like a podcast where They bring people, this person says their mind, that person says their mind, but they say it independently or so. So I can't remember the name. And the lady, she's an immigrant, and she's saying she doesn't know why these black African Americans are always complaining about racism. They too, they are Africans as well, and they've come to, yes, it exists, racism exists, but you can't keep dwelling that racism exists, therefore you're not going to make no effort or to break that pattern or to do something different. You can't keep blaming the government, you can't keep blaming the economy for the reason why you're not doing anything. No, you have to find a way to survive. You have to make, do something. You can't complain your way into success. Your goal, you can't do that. So I hope that as we're exposing these patterns, people are breaking free from it, and we're understanding it and we're breaking free. So next pattern is that I came across this pattern. It was a shock to me, with all due respect, in Wales. You know, a child, 15-year-old, becomes pregnant, drops out of school, struggles financially. She grows. Her child grows up, seeing of instability, limited survival mode. At 15 or 16, that same child, repeats the same pattern, or the same path the mother repeated. Now, the original mother becomes a grandmother at 30. I saw it in my eyes. Somebody told me, I saw it in my eyes. I saw someone at 30 years old, a grandmother. Same age, same script, same outcome. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. Where there is no intervention, patterns become inheritance. So it's important that we bear this in mind. I've seen another pattern, either a woman, I'm sure, as I'm saying this, you guys are relating with it. A woman might have children from 4 different men or 3 different men, or a man, vice versa. 4 different men or 3 different, like 3 different, what do you call it? A man might have children from 4 different women, or vice versa. What often follows is what? Broken co-parenting structures, financial strain, emotional instability, children lacking consistent leadership, court issues like court cases, tension, divided home. This pattern is not the number. This pattern is instability repeating itself. If children grow up normalizing fractured family structures without healing or guidance, they may unconsciously repeat it. They will unconsciously repeat it. So if commitment is never modeled, instability becomes normal. So if we're not careful, that you're not disciplined to say, no, I'm not going to give into sex before marriage. I'm not going to give into this way of life. I want to grow. Yes, maybe my parents, their own case was this way, but I want to do something different. I like what I see in my friend's family. I like the way they are, the father, the mother, and everything. And I can see how their family is a bit stable. I like the way they're growing up. But if you don't think that way, you might allow somebody to impregnate you, or you might impregnate somebody, and the child comes out, no father, no home, no finances, no job. You might end up losing that child to care, all manner of stuff. And before you know anything, instability becomes a norm. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. A pattern that needs to be broken. And when we have such kind of children out in the society, more and more and more, what happens? They become instruments of vices of evil. They become instruments of vices of doing things wrong. They become the people that the gangs or the warlords or whatever use, or the criminal mind or the evil society, dark world use to perpetrate their actions. Because all these children know, they don't know anybody, just want food in their mouth, just want a shelter. And if somebody gave them a shelter and gave them an evil option, they don't know anything else but to take it. So let's break that pattern, guys. And I hope that we're learning a thing or two. Another pattern we need to break is what? Generational benefit dependence. Grandparents relied fully on state support. Parents relied fully on state support. Children are growing up believing the same thing. I once met, I remember when I used to do, I used to do sell home installations, and I came up to this, and home installations were only given to people that were on one form of benefit or the other. And I remember a lady, I came to the door, knocked on the door. We have to knock on doors, by the way. I knocked on this lady's door, and she came and she opened the door. I said, I'm here to let you know about the government scheme where you are here to do home installations. If your home is not energy efficiency, blah, 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 blah. And I said, it's only for those that are on one form of benefits or the other, and all that. She said, yeah, I'm on, I forgot what she called it. She said, I didn't want to mention, I don't want to mention the benefit, but she said, I'm on that benefit for life. So there was this, will I call it arrogance, or this, will I say it's joy, or this happiness that she's on it? I don't know. But I was just a young guy coming up from university, and I'm hearing that from someone. I'm someone that is striving to, and I could see somebody happy with state support as something to depend on for life. So it shook me, and you can imagine I'm still telling you this thing. What I'm telling you happened maybe like 2000. What are we now? I graduated. Happened like maybe 2010, and I can still remember it very, very well. So the system will provide. There's no need to stretch it. Why work if benefits are guaranteed? This is the thing. Once upon a time, you guys need to do your research on an area in Wales called Better-Tydfil. It used to be an area that was industrialized. It had Hoover, it had all the companies. The reason why I know about this area, because we studied it in university. We did an analysis on that area, it was called the impact of the benefit system on Better-Tydfil as a community or as a town or whatever. And we found out that because the government rolled out the benefit system, people they didn't see the need to go to work anymore. They would rather depend on benefits or find ways to get a benefit for the dog, have a child, whatever it is, just so that they don't work, but they have access to free cash. So it's important that we break that pattern. Over time, skills are not developed. If one generation does it, another generation picks it up, another generation picks it up, ambition weakens, dependency deepens. Now, 3 generations or generations exist without economic mobility, God forbid. Support systems are meant to be a trampoline, not a mattress. Supposed to bounce you to go to another level. I remember when I used to work in a food bank. Before they give you, volunteer, before they give you food in that food bank, they would want to know what situation brought you to that point for you to require food. And they will not just give you food and tomorrow give you another one. No. They will give you that food, but they will take your details and they will signpost you to the right agency that can assist you so you don't have to come back and rely on the food bank. So support systems are meant to be a trampoline, not a mattress. So the problem isn't receiving help. The problem is building identity around it. So let's bear that in mind. Another thing again is what? Normalize criminal environment, is a pattern that is broken. A child grows up, and I've said a lot, so if you missed anything, please feel free to watch these things on my YouTube video, on my YouTube channel. You will learn a thing or two about from it. A child grows up surrounded by uncles in prison, cousins in gangs, friends circling in and out of jail. Conversation normalizes. The kind of conversation the child will be hearing is what? When am I coming out, or when is he coming out? That's when he's coming out from jail. It's just a part of their life. It becomes a part of their life. So all the child knows, that's all the child thinks of. It now becomes normal. Jail becomes expected, not feared. So anything they're doing, I've heard of someone that told me that when it's about time when it's winter time, they know that, okay, if I jack this car, you will give me 6 months. The maximum is 6 months the judge will give me. If I do this, the maximum is this. So they'll just do it so they can go to prison and stay in prison for the period of winter. So they don't have to sleep on the streets, or they don't have to pay for energy bills. And when they come out, and they'll still pay them in the prison. When they come out, winter is over. Every year in, year out. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. A pattern that needs to be broken. The young person commits crime not because they are evil, no, but because crime is the only blueprint they have seen. Their uncles, their aunties, their dad, that's all they know. That's all they know. So what is common in your environment becomes comfortable in your future. You need to break out of such environment. Otherwise, those things become normal. If everyone around you has been to prison, jail feels like a rite of passage. So let's bear that in mind. It's a pattern that needs to be broken. I hope I learned a thing or two. These are patterns. Some people are not conscious of it. So it keeps happening for some people. It's very important that we learn this thing. And I've shared quite a lot, but I'll keep sharing some of the ones I have. So we're learning something. Another one is addiction circle. Substance misuse. A parent struggles with drug addiction. The child grows up seeing substance used daily, experiencing trauma, lacking emotional stability. As a teenager, they experience this thing as a child. As an adult, they deepen it. That's all they know. That's what they saw. Now, the addicted parent raises another addicted child. Unhealed pain often reproduces what? Itself. Addiction is rarely just a habit. You often inherited trauma expressed differently. It's an inherited trauma expressed differently. There's a pattern that we need to break in our lives. It could be, for some people, it's alcohol. For some people, it's gambling. And other people that gambling have led them to their grave. It's unfortunate. These are patterns that we need to break. Some people is flirting with another man's wife, or womanizing. You're married. You're married, but you are what's the word? You are cheating on your spouse, going to get a different man or something like that. These are patterns that need to be broken. It eats into your finance, destroy your home. You're hiding and hiding and hiding. But we need to break these patterns, very important. Another pattern is, I've seen this a lot. It happens for some people. With all due respect, I'm not bashing anybody. But grandfather worked, let's say, for instance, I'm just saying, don't quote me. Grandfather worked in the rail, or is a postman, or some kind of job, or is a boss man, or one thing or the other. People pride those kind of things is amazing. Or worked in a bread factory, a farmer, one thing or the other. These are noble professions, don't get me wrong. Grandfather worked in it, father is not working in it, son is not working in it. Nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with the job, but no growth, no expansion, no ownership, no new vision. No new vision. I always say to people, the JP Morgan that we hear today, if you have watched, there's a program called, I don't know if you can find it on the internet, it's called Men That Built America. Men That Built America. Watch it. It's very instrumental, very powerful. I learned a lot from it. We hear of JP Morgan today. But he's not the actual person. He's not the main Morgan. His father was. But his father, when he come back from school, when his mates are playing, riding bicycle, doing all manner of things, father will come carry accounting assignment, his accounting job, and give his son that was young, I think like 7 or 6, I can't remember, to start doing accounting at that young age. And that's how the child started doing it for that age today. We always hear of JP Morgan. Where is JP Morgan? Where don't you find it? In London, in New York, Atlanta, Shanghai, Beijing? Where is it not? JP Morgan, Morgan Chase. Where is it not? Started for me. So I'm not saying that the profession is not vision. So the father for JP Morgan took it to another level, to the point that he's now identified as one of the men that built America. Three generations worked hard, but stayed the same financial position. That's why I'll try to say, I talk to my siblings, talk to my spouse, my wife, I talk to my cousins. I say, yes, the generation before us, they've done amazing. That's the generation of my fathers. If, let's say, for instance, they were worth $1 billion or 2 billion or 5 billion, 10 billion or 20 billion, I said to my cousin, my wife, or my siblings, our generation, we need to 10x that. We need to 10x that. But the problem is not the work. The problem here is that the financial position remains the same. That's what we're talking about here. Hard work without vision can still create stagnation. The JP Morgan made things a lot better. That people are now hearing JP Morgan, but they don't know that his father started it. So let's bear that in mind. Next thing is what? Generations of toxic or disposable marriage. Grandparents model dysfunction. Parents grow up seeing chaos. That's the grandparents, they model it. Parents grow up seeing it. The children either repeat toxic love or treat divorce as the first option. I tell you one thing, the reason why, I might be wrong, but the reason why it's quite easy for a lot of people to jump into marriage and jump out is a model, it's a pattern. It's a model, it's a pattern. I was interviewed by someone in a podcast, and she asked me, what is one of the things that you learned from your father that keeps you going? I said, I never saw my dad cheat on my mom. I never saw my dad cheat on my mom. Like, what it means, like, my dad had a side chick or had a girl or lady somewhere. I never saw it. And you could say, oh, my father hid it. No. I never heard it. I never heard a rumor. If you don't ask my siblings, a rumor about it. A rumor. So that was a model. That's a pattern that I followed subconsciously. I didn't even need, he didn't need to sit me down and say, my son, don't do this. No. It's the same thing. I got married to 2013. Since then, I don't have a side chick whatsoever. I've not done anything with any other woman other than my wife. It's a pattern. But think about it the other way around. Grandfather might be doing the same thing, might be either cheating around or messing about. The parents too came and copied it, either beating the mom or beating the wife or drunk or whatever. The children repeating the same toxic love, falling out of marriage, staying, go out. They don't care. Marriage is nothing. Just go in and go out, just like they check in and check out of a hotel. Unhealed marriage produces unhealed patterns, unstable patterns. Unhealed marriage produces unstable patterns. Children don't inherit advice, they inherit what they see. So because I saw my dad and my mom in a stable home, my dad never cheated on my mom. I never saw it to my eyes. I never heard it from anybody, any rumor. What I'm telling you that as young people growing up, we used to know people. I'm sure you guys can relate with me. You see that we saw that person. I don't remember Papa did that. Is that not Emmanuel's dad there? What is he doing in that hotel? Is that not his car? Some men, they even cover the plate number of their vehicle in hotels when they're going to spend time with another lady or they're in a place. Or when they come, they put their hat down, they stay in a corner. When we come, we can see them as young people. We just say, is that not Tunde's dad or something like that? I'm not saying that, but I was using an example. What's he doing there? And when we see the Tunde, we now start mocking and making jest at teenagers there. And they say, the pops himself, that guy, man, I saw him the other day, yeah. Or you can see him driving and you see with a lady. Every time you see a lady in front of the car or something, or one thing or the other. Children don't inherit advice, they inherit what they see. So it's a pattern that needs to be broken. I hope they will learn a thing or two. Other thing is what? People come to this country and all they're after is work, shift, earn money, get tired, spend more for convenience. No time to build skills or business. We talked about it earlier. And they need more overtime, over and over. Some people just come to this part of the world, all they do is work. Busier, but not better. You have increased hours, not increased value. We talked about toxic relationships. We talked about that already. And we talked about poverty, parents struggling, children copying the same thing. We talked about that. And I think one thing I want to talk about is what? Immigration validation. Let me prove that I'm abroad. Some people might be struggling, but they want to prove they're abroad. They spend to impress people back home, send money home beyond capacity, no investment in itself, financial pressure, and they repeat to maintain their image. You cannot build wealth while financing an image. Let's bear that in mind. So next thing is, I've shared a lot, but that is the whole idea. I think that as I'm sharing it, I'm addressing the way around stopping it. I'm sharing, I'm addressing it. I'm sharing, I'm addressing it. One is lost connection, lost drive. First generation, that's, let's say, my generation now. I come with immigrants. We fled from, I come here for one reason or another from Nigeria, or some people come from Ghana, some people come from Ethiopia, wherever. Fled hardship or difficult situation or looking for something better. People like us who came for education. If you face poverty, you face instability and limited opportunities, you took risk to build better lives. When I'm a youth worker and I work with teenagers, some of them, your parents had to come through migrant boats to come to this part of the world. Very painful. Some people have to go and stay in Italy or stay in Germany or stay somewhere for a long time under harsh conditions. They made it to a nicer place. They went through a lot. They learned resilience through their struggle. But guess what? The second generation, that's their children. They grew up in a comfortable environment like UK, America, Canada, whatever. Many have never visited the country where they came from. I've seen people in their 21 years old. Have you ever been to Ghana? No. Have you ever been to Nigeria? No. But they've been to Spain, they've been to Turkey, they've been to Spain, they've been to Dubai, but they've never been to the country where the resilience is what helped their parents to get to where they are. Yet these parents expect a miracle from their children. It's not going to work. I've seen someone in Cardiff, without due respect to him. I said to him, where are you from? And he said to me, I could see that he's an African. He said to me, oh, I'm from Cardiff. Oh. I look at him, I said, it's like you're not looking at yourself very well. Just like me seeing a Chinese man, I have Chinese friends. And he said to me, where are you from? You say to me, I'm British. It's one thing, it's clear, you can see. As a Nigerian, you can see that I'm not from here. I might have a passport, a document, a British passport is a document, but the identity. When you are filling the form, they tell you black, British, African, British, they tell you Asian. Where is that? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you where were you born. No. That a child was born in Nigeria, a British child born in Nigeria. How many of them will claim Nigeria? How many? How many? So you see, we claim things that I'm from Minnesota, I'm from this, no problem. I'm not saying you should not claim it. If you want to claim it to do sports or whatever, it's important. But rarely, those children understand the adversities that shape their parents' ambition. When you look at Obama saying that Nigerians are the most educated immigrants in America, is that the tenacity they built from Nigeria? Is the doggedness they built from Accra? Is the resilience they got from Kinshasa or from Kenya or from everywhere? It's those things that made them who they are. That where other people or local people will just easily chicken out, the immigrants will stay. There's someone that came from Islamabad or someone that came from or New Delhi, because they've seen the difficulty of life. When they come to this part of the world, everything to them is like, it's just a chicken change, easy to do. But the second generation are not as resilient as the first generation. What's the problem? So they see opportunities as normal rather than what? Hard-earned. And they avoid risk, settle for mediocrity, and lacking dearly. It's a painful thing that some of our parents that came to this part of the world are amazing high flyers, but their children are nowhere near. A shame, without due respect. It's a pattern that needs to be broken. The pattern that needs to be broken. So then when you ask them what they want to be, they can't even tell you decisively, this is what I want to be. It's a shame and it's very painful. It bleeds. My heart bleeds. But their parents refuse to expose them to the things that fuel that hunger in them as parents before they came. I tell you, all manner of stories. I've watched Al Jazeera. I watched one Al Jazeera documentary of one guy that tried to come to England. He stayed 3 years in the part of France, waiting for the day that a ship will come very close to the coast, so that he will run and jump inside the ship, just so they can come to England. After doing all that, I think he came from Afghanistan. After doing all that, with all that resilience, all that determination, he even drank his own piece to survive. Then when he now comes here, then his own seed or his own offspring will not have that same ginger, will not have that same vibe, will not have that same hunger. Will just be an average person. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. So they inherit comfort, but not hunger. They fail to appreciate that what they have is another child's dream. So this is what I do, my wife and I. We always expose our children to reality. I remember my son, I brought him food and he said to me, oh, Daddy, I don't want to eat this roasted chicken. I say, yeah. It's like, you don't know. I don't remember that a friend of mine sent me a video. So I opened the video, I said to him, I didn't talk to him, I said, watch this video. And I said, what's happening here? I'm sure some of you might have seen that video. There are children scraping plates of food plenty. They were scraping the food and they were eating. They're scraping, they're eating. I said to him, what's happening here? The children are scraping food and eating like remains of food. I said to him, what do you think that if these children see this your chicken and you say they want to eat, what do you think they will say? They will dive the chicken before you say one. One can even hit or elbow the other person just to take that chicken and eat it. But now here are you have the chicken. And you're saying, I don't like this grilled one. As he watched that video, I didn't even tell him 1 second, that chicken was finished. He finished it because his understanding opened that he has opportunity, but he's not taking it for granted. I can go on YouTube and search for a video. I've opened a video for them, showing them how children go to school. There's a child that might be like 6 years or so, 7 years, takes her younger one to school by canoe, 2 of them only, in a big ocean. She's one that will make her food, if at all there's no food to make breakfast. put her child, her sibling inside. They ride on the canoe to a school far away. Maybe when rain is falling, they'll stay at home. They live inside a bush, no house. The Amazon forest, I think somewhere in Brazil. I show my children those things. When I take them back home to Nigeria, I make sure I take them to places that they can see the reality people live in. I say to them, hey, okay, this is now your new home. This is where you're going to be staying. This is your room there. I've paid for this place. I've changed your school. This is your school. It's down the road there. And I just want to see the reaction. And they start looking, this place is, how this place is. I say, this is people's reality. This is how people live. I remember my daughter, there's a part of Wuse too, where we try to, I hope that you guys are learning a thing or two. Sorry that I'm taking much time to explain all these things. But I hope we're learning a thing or two. My daughter, we came to a part of Wuse 2. I'm sure some of you know a Big Bites, that area where they do Indomie in Wuse 2, close to Nikon Transcorp Hilton. And 2 children approached my vehicle. I was like, oh, this was like almost 12 midnight or something, because my last daughter was asking for, she just woke up from sleep. She slept for a long time asking for food. My wife said, where can we go? I said, would she like to do that? I said, yes. I drove down there. You know, we just came to a very relaxed and all that. Drove down there. While they're making the noodles, these children approached me. Oh, they're hungry. I said, where's your parents? They said, Mom is somewhere. Some stories they're told to say to concord and get something out of us. So, what happens is that, I'm just trying to remember my line of story. My train of thought was just distracted now. Yeah, so they said all what they said. All they wanted was food. I said to them, food is not their problem. Their parents are exploiting the children. By this time of the day, they're out begging. You understand? Children are being exploited. So I'm not going to support exploitation of children. No. The food is not a problem. If I want to give them food to eat, they wanted money. They didn't want the food. I can't remember what the issue was. So my daughter came and met me. That's my eldest daughter. Am I going to buy food for them? I said no. He said, why? I said, because I said, Daddy, please, I should buy for them. They're hungry. I said, no. They're not hungry. Their parents are exploiting them. Probably somebody would have fed them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. NTI Bachelor's Degree Program. I said to them that that the parents are exploiting the children. If the children are not hungry, if they're hungry, we'll buy food for them to sit down here and eat it. But they're not interested in the food. They're more interested in the money we're going to give to them. So when they accumulate the money they've gathered that day, there's another reason to do it the next day. So my daughter watched me. We finished buying the food, went into the car. And I spoke to the children and said, go and tell your parents that what they're doing to you is wrong. What they're doing to you is wrong. They're exploiting you. So what are we trying to say is that ambition, resilience isn't passed down. Because resilience, by these things I expose my children to, resilience is passed down. They're understanding that what they have is a luxury and a liberty. My dad also did the same thing to me. He takes us to different places in part of Nigeria to show us. And he always says to me that whatever cars you see here, they're going to be outdated in no time. Whatever houses you see here, they're going to be outdated. See, if you can wake up one day and hear that I've willed all my properties to charity home, so better go and get your own. Better go and get your own. When you disconnect your children from their roots that forge the resilience in you, comfort can quietly become mediocrity. So you have resilience in you, but your children don't have it. You have disconnected them from the root. Take your children back home. Take them back to where you came from. Show them where I've taken my children to where I studied my university, where I stayed. I take them back. I've showed them the place. I take them to where I was born and show them the place. Show them where their mom is born from. Show them the environment. Show them how it is. Yes, not everybody might come from the kind of environment I am, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. If you take your children to your own environment, let them see. Not you take them all the nice places of the world, but you don't take them to the place that made you who you are. We're going to have a conversation about that another day. So they can also learn history from visiting your origin. They understand the struggles that shaped you as a parent. They treat opportunity as privileges, not an expectation. And they create their own challenges to build resilience. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do with your children. I know I've learned a thing or two. Our time is very much spent. I don't have much time. I'm just going to allow a comment or two. If there's anybody I want to share a thing or two, remember that this just before I said, how do you break this pattern? So we've talked about it. Take responsibility. Take your life in your hands. Things can change in your own time. Things can change in your own time. The scripture tells us in 1 Samuel chapter 19, verse 5, says, David says, he took his life in his own hands. So take responsibility. If that's all you hear today, take responsibility and break those circles, in your own. It's very important. So awareness. Some people are not aware. Now you are aware. You need to change your environment if need be. Change your environment. Change your circle. Change your friends. Change those people that are around you. Acquire new skills. Acquire new skills. Take courses. Learn digital skills. Whatever. Do something different. Heal before you repeat. Some people have not healed. They jump into another relationship. Jump into something. Heal before you repeat. Redefine your identity. We don't do business this way. Men in our family cheat. Women are always struggling. People like us don't succeed. Redefine the identity and replace pattern immediately. Replace pattern immediately. So replace gossip with good conversation. Replace overnight shift with skills. Replace dependency on benefits with skills acquisition. Replace keeping association with constructive networks. So I've said a lot. I've said a lot and a lot and a lot. Invest in yourself daily. You don't do anything. If all you do is read 10 pages of a book a day, you will break a pattern of generational poverty, generational everything. If you don't hear anything, look at this book. Or not just this book, and just read start from 5 pages a day. You see that you will break a pattern that will shake your world around you. So network with like minds, get a mentor. Last week I had my mentor on here. Get a mentor. Develop yourself spiritually. Guys, I want to say this, I'll say it again. Some patterns are spiritual. No matter what you do, you cannot be broken. If you don't know Jesus, you need to find Jesus. You need to go to a church, a Bible-believing church. This is not me preaching to you, no. So the spiritual rules the physical. If you don't know, no. Jesus at the center of your life. Get a Bible-based church. Because spiritual discipline and a lot of patterns will break. Generational patterns, generational causes will break because Christ has come in. You make a whole lot of difference in your life. So take charge of your life. Invest in it and to make a whole lot of difference. So yeah, I said a lot. I've talked a lot. I took my time to touch a lot on different patterns because I noticed that some of the things that people might be going through. So sorry. Yeah, I'll touch on some of these things towards the end as a wrap up. But yeah, remember that you can get my free ebook or my paid ebook. Thank you very much for your likes and everything. Drop your biggest takeaways in the comment section. My free ebook and paid ebook is there. If you want to join our network, please look on my bio. The Hair You Love, D610 Homes, Love Family Podcast sponsors this live stream. So do well to check them out. So thank you very much. I learned a lot today. You're a good mentor and exemplary of a good father. Thank you very much, Francisca AG2. Thank you very much. Well, today, thank you very much, everyone. So if you want to share a thing or two, any comments, thoughts, very quickly as we wrap up, let me know your thoughts, please. As we finish this off, please. Yeah, let us know your thoughts. Comments, guys. I'm going to post this in the group chat. If anybody wants to comment on TikTok or anywhere, let us know. If preferably, if you click on this link, if you're on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, I don't know if you can see it. This will bring you to this page and you can say a thing or two. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. All right. Just a quick one. It could be a comment. It could be a question. Whatever it is, let us know. It could be something you want to add to what was shared quickly as we are about to move on to the next things. Let me just check. Let me just post this link here. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. Sorry, you can't comment on YouTube. You can only type. So you can also type takeaways on YouTube, please. Type on YouTube. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. Quickly as we wrap up. Go ahead, please. Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead. Go ahead. How are you doing?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about something that stood out to me from what you said.
Go ahead, thank you.
You made a statement. You said past success is the future success, where people are trying to say, okay, this thing worked out for so. So if I do this thing, so you also work out for me. But it's not always like that. Trying to copy what has worked for someone or what has worked in the past will not always work for you in the present. So it does not work like that. You have to adapt. You have to think different. You have to do better than what was done in the past.
Yeah, valid point. Valid point. Thank you very much for that. What you said is very apt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very apt. A lot of people, it's not to say that everything that our parents taught us or your bosses taught you is rubbish. No, it's just to say that you must evaluate everything. You must evaluate everything. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, more comments, guys. More comments, please. As we wrap up, just one more at least, and that's it for the day. Okay. Yes, thank you very much for your time, everyone. Thank you very much for your thoughts. Thank you for always joining. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. What's it called? Okay, thank you. So, okay, yeah. So, please, I just want to say thank you. A big thank you to everyone that always joins across the world. God bless you all for always joining. Thank you for always joining. Okay. A big thank you to all you all. Thank you to my team. Thank you to Venus, my PA. Thank you to Dami, my social media manager. Thank you to all my friends. Thank you to my wife. She's my maddest man or my friend also and everything. She's with the children, always supportive, always helpful. Thanks to all my colleagues, both in church, both at work, business, everything. Thank you. Please follow us for more. If you like what you heard, like this page, share it. We post this stream so more people can grow or learn from us. Please share, please. Post this in different group chats so it can be a blessing to people. Please. Drop your biggest takeaways in the comment section, please, and then let us know. And if you share this, someone might be blessed by it. You never know what's going to happen. That what I do today, as service accommodation, somebody shared it to me with like a video. I'm sure the person I did approach him and tell him years after what his video did, just a share yours today, and you never know what will happen. Next Sunday, same time, UK time, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Nigeria time, wherever you are. Awesome and profound topic. Lily and Lucinda, thank you very much. Next Sunday, we're going to be having our topic will be mindset versus set mind. Mindset versus set mind. Those are going to discuss next Sunday. So please avail yourself, be around here. If you miss it by any chance, or if you missed anyone in the past, go to my YouTube page. You find all the videos there, you can watch it. So I just want to encourage us to take actions and just make the most of it. Remember, I talked about my free ebook, paid ebook, or what have you. So the hair you love, we're sponsored by the hair you love. So they sell premium hairs, wigs, premium human hair. So if that has been, you've been looking for premium human hair that you can, since 2016, I highly recommend that you work with the hair you love. That hair, you'll be happy with what you bought. Is a hair you can trust. So check them out. It's spelled D, then hair, HAIR, then U, then LUV. You want to check them out on Instagram or on TikTok. You can send them a message. They can DM you, or you can check for what you want on their page. Send them a picture, or you can send them a picture of what you want, and they could tell you about the price and what have you. D610 Homes is another sponsor for this program. We do property investments in the UK, property development in Nigeria. We do service accommodations for short lets in the UK and in Nigeria. So you have cash in your bank, you're doing nothing with it, you don't know how to put it, sitting down in your account doing nothing, and the bank pays you less £3 or whatever it is, 3% or whatever. We can do better than that. We can give you a good rate and to give you better value for your money. You can also invest and learn with us. be it for service accommodation, be it for shortlets, be it for property investment in UK, Nigeria, send us a DM and we can work that out for you. Love Family Podcast. We're going to be having podcasts that are family oriented. Everything is been in the works. Please bear with us. I'm sure you keep hearing them, wondering when it's going to happen. It's going to be out soon and soon and soon and soon. Remember that we've been discussing on patterns and circles. As I round this up, patterns and circles has been what we've discussing. I'm sure we've learned a thing or two. I'm going to wrap this up by saying that one, many people stay in circles not because they love the struggle, but because they are terrified of the loneliness of success. So they don't want to be set apart by success. They want to be bubbling with other people that are average. But God knows why He told Abraham to get out of your country, from your family, and from your house, and to a land that will show you. That's isolation before elevation. So don't be afraid to do something different from the people that you know that have always done something average. Step out. Step out. Success sabotage. Step out. Fear of new patterns. Step out. Step out. If you don't learn anything, hear that. Sunken costs. People refusing to change because you already spent so much time doing the wrong thing. Because you have been driving 100 miles per hour in the wrong direction does not mean that you are making progress. No, it's a disaster. You have been doing something for 10 years. It's a pattern of error. So the next 10 years can be a pattern of power. My bishop always said to you that it's never too late to get it right. Never too late to get it right. So it's time to change. You are in the wrong career or something because you have been doing something for 10 years in the UK. No, you can start it again. In America, it's always start again. It's better to be a beginner on the right path than to be the master on the wrong one. It's very important. So bear that in mind. Next point is what? What? When circle becomes comfort zone. Some people become so comfortable, just like a prisoner who fears release. Many people are in despair. They have become so comfortable in their dysfunction. Just like Israel. When the Bible tells us that when they left Egypt, they clamored, to Moses, no, you should have left us when we were enjoying this or enjoying that. They became so comfortable. You cannot enter the promised land with a slavery mentality, a slavery pattern. You can't. So break free, break free, break free. The last point I want to say before we wrap this up is life gives you what you pray for. Life gives you what you pray for. It gives you what you tolerate. What you tolerate. Just like social media algorithm. If you type shoes, you start seeing shoe adverts. You start seeing a house. If you type house, you start seeing house. You type car, the algorithm starts sending ads related to it. That's how life is. Life is the same. If you tolerate complaint patterns, life will send you more things to complain about. If you tolerate toxic circles, life will send you more people that are toxic. Your life is currently what? Perfectly optimized for results you are getting. You can't give, you can't give what you don't have. If you have good vibes come to you. If you are getting zero progress, it's because your system is designed for zero progress. What is one thing that you are tolerating today that is feeding your circle of despair? Your tolerance level is the ceiling of your success level. So we need to break free from that. I shared a lot, I've talked a lot, I shared a lot, I've talked a lot, and I hope that in one way or the other you've learned a thing or two. And I just want to say thank you for all the time that you take coming here to learn a thing or two. God bless you. Remember that why I do this, to step in dissatisfaction in your spirit man. So I'm waking that giant in you and to cause a stir. If it doesn't cause it, you need to check yourself. Remember that the Bible tells us that I've seen horses, servants on horses, while princes walk on the ground like servants. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7. Please, 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 whatever you do, make sure you're in the right place. Remember that the wise always invest. Invest in whatever will make you break out of a pattern that you don't want, or break out of a circle. God bless you. Peace. Udo. I'm out. Bye-bye.